And there's a 5-year roadmap to implement all of these things. But there is the underlying assumptions of the mainstream has to be inclusive and fair, and so does the other segments of the community, and then broader Australia has to be more welcoming and inclusive, beyond. And which means there is a lot of expenditure to be done or towards the infrastructure, so that the liberty of movement for a person from WA to Queensland, what you were suggesting, should be, they have the liberties to move from one state to other state. It should not be limiting. But until and unless you're suggesting that if there is no parity between the infrastructure and the kind of supports across different states, we will have that people just sticking with only one state where they're comfortable in terms of what supports and services they have.
Yeah, and the thing that I find most interesting, say with deaf blindness, is as our community is ageing, we're getting more and more people who maybe not identify as deafblind, but they are. They through the aging process, they've got low vision and they require assistance with hearing. So this population is only getting bigger, no matter where you are in the country. Yet the support systems at that mainstream level don't reflect that, and I think it's going to be. It's just going to be quite an isolating experience if you're going into aged care. And I know this last year I was chatting to someone who works at an outreach centre in Perth to do with seniors, and it was like a drop-in centre during the day for seniors to come in and have that sense of community. And I asked them, do you have, what access do you have in terms of the information they're given? Are you taking into account people with a hearing loss or alternative formats, large print? And they said, no, we really don't have anything set up in place. And she said, it is scary because we're getting more and more people like that, but we're struggling to support them. Yeah.
And the NDIS review does talk about people who are aging, going beyond the time of 65 years. There has to be a transition plan in place for them. But I think there has to be a conversation, people who are beyond 65 plus, and they have disabilities, and how does that function? How does the foundation supports or mainstream support function? Because does the aged care funding include only functional? What does that play out? Lovely. Thank you for sharing those.